Chapter 15. Saturday noon. By the time Doreen had worked her way through half of the paperwork, she had to get another garbage bag to hold her growing mess. Maybe she could get Mac to take this crap with him too, the next time he showed up here. It should be recycling though. She thought about it, then nodded. She still had quite a bit more to sort through though. So, determined to finally get to the bottom of it all, she grabbed another cup of coffee and sat down. Her gaze kept going back to the boxes from the hope chest as she wondered about the letters. She had to unpack the dishes too and send Scott photos because, while she didn't know if it was financially or historically important, she did know these dishes meant a lot to somebody or had meant a lot to somebody. She still hadn't contacted Nan about it. On that note, she picked up her phone. "There you are," Nan said. "I was deliberately waiting until you were done at Millicent's today, before I called you." "How did you know I didn't go to Millicent's yesterday?" Nan chuckled. "My grapevine is invaluable. Besides, you were bound and determined to get that house sorted, weren't you?" "And I'm almost done," Doreen said. "I've got a couple stacks of paperwork from the hall closet that you had stuffed in the back of the shelves, intermingled with lots of birdseed." "Oh my," Nan said. "I can't even imagine what's all in there. They're likely nothing important." "The first stack seems to have been recipes. You might as well ditch those. It's not like you're cooking." "I'm getting better," Doreen said. "Of course, I still need more cooking lessons." "How is that going, by the way?" Nan's tone was too casual to not be obvious. "Mac showed me how to cook Parmesan-coated pork chops last night." "Oh my," Nan said in delight. "That sounds lovely. Plus, I had emptied your kitchen, and he helped me sort and get rid of about half of it. The last thing is this big pile from that front closet. Other than that, the entire house has been emptied out and scrubbed down top to bottom. It feels great." Nan laughed. "Oh, I'm sad it's over with though." "Me too in a way," Doreen said. "I've done almost all the clothing too. And I still have that bowl to sort through of all kinds of things stashed in the clothing." "Like what?" Nan asked curiously. "Like those little balls like marbles which were also in the Ming vase and coins, bells, little bits of notepaper, some business cards. It was a mix." "Ah, memories," Nan said. "Take your time going through some of that stuff. I can't remember all that might be in there, but there could be something valuable. Speaking of which, I found a pair of earrings. I put them in the bowl, but one need to take another look at them." "Earrings?" Nan's voice turned thoughtful as she asked, "Do you remember what they look like?" "Diamonds, I think, in a little heart shape with a hanging teardrop." Nan gasped. "Oh. I've been looking for those forever. Where were they?" "In one of the 12 coats in the front closet," Doreen said. "I think I kept 5 of them, and I've got 7 to go to Wendy." She frowned and realized those were still in the garage, but now her car was full of donations for the thrift store. "I completely forgot. I've got all those to drop off yet too." "Lovely, lovely memories. Those are real diamonds, so make sure you take care of those earrings. They were a gift from an admirer." Doreen rolled her eyes. "Nan, it sounds like you did very well off your admirers. It's not my fault if they were part of an era where men gave women gifts just because they were happy to be with them." That stopped Doreen cold in her tracks. "That's a lovely way to put it," she said. "Too bad my husband didn't feel that way about me." "Your husband was a drip," Nan said. "And that's about as nice as I can put it." "I found something else though," Doreen said, thinking of the 6 hope chest boxes. "Remember how I told you about the trapdoor hatch thing I found? Inside the hall closet in the attic, but underneath the stairs?" With silence on the other end, Doreen could almost hear Nan's mind working as she sorted that out. "I'm not sure I do remember, at least I don't think I've ever seen it," Nan said thoughtfully. "In fact, I'm having trouble picturing it." That cubbyhole isn't actually in the attic because, of course, the second floor is above it. And it's not a big space, more of an alcove under the stairs. I don't really know how to explain it. You'd have to see it, Doreen said, studying the closet from where she sat. But in that small space above it, I found 6 boxes. Oh, how lovely, Nan said. I do love a good mystery. I do too, Doreen said with a chuckle. The contents of all these boxes appear to be like the contents of a hope chest. There was silence again. A hope chest? Nan asked, puzzled. Yes, several boxes are full of china. There are linens and nighties that look to be hand-stitched. They were very white and very virginal, so I presume they were for this woman's marriage. The last box is full of letters and paperwork that I haven't had a chance to get into yet, but the newspapers inside were dated in the 1800s. Nan gasped and then she cried with joy. Oh, such fun. I mean, sad in a way because we'll never find the person who it all belonged to because she's no longer alive, but maybe some of her descendants are. So, you don't know anything about the boxes? Doreen asked. No, not at all. I'd love to find out more though. When I get time, Doreen said, I'll sort through the letters in the box. But first off, I'm finishing sorting through all the stuff in that closet, and then I'm scanning in the rest of all those files I got from Solomon's great-nephew. Right, Nan said. That's very wise. We don't want to take a chance of anything happening to those files. No, we don't, Doreen said. Do you know much about Steve? Penny's friend Steve? That slimy lawyer guy. I didn't realize you thought he was slimy, but yeah. I think we're talking about the same one. I don't know too much about him, Nan said eerily. I like to deal with nice people. Doreen laughed out loud. How do you know he's not nice? He's involved with that Penny person. You know she's a murderer, Nan scolded. At that, Doreen sat back with a heavy sigh. Yes, Nan, I do understand that. I just wondered if you knew anything about Steve's business dealings. Oh, Nan said. Something crafty entered into her voice. You're hot on another case, aren't you? No, not at all, Doreen said hurriedly. But Solomon has a file on him, and Steve tossed his gun in the gardenia patch 6 houses down. And he's part of that biker gang, you know? Nan added. I heard that, Doreen said. I'm surprised you know that though. Everybody thinks I don't know anything, but they're wrong. I do hear lots. Besides, back then, Kelowna wasn't very big. It's certainly grown in the last 20 years though. But Max said, just because Steve might have had something to do with the Devil Riders biker gang, doesn't make Steve a criminal, Doreen said, parroting Max's words which already mirrored her words. No, it doesn't. But making payoffs to people to keep them quiet, that's a different story. Doreen straightened. Do you happen to know anybody he did that for? The Helmsmans when their house burned down, Nan announced. He gave Annette a payout. Although it wasn't much, I don't think. Why did their house burn down, and why did he give her a payout? I don't know. She's not talking. Because when you take the gang's money, it's in exchange for silence. Doreen winced. Are you sure he wasn't just a lawyer for the insurance company? Well, you see, that was the thing about the fire. There was no insurance on the property, Nan said. They couldn't afford any. So that payout made all the difference in her life. Particularly as it was arson, Nan said. And then her voice changed and she called out to somebody, I'm coming. I'm coming. I've got to go, dear. I'm sure you'll have fun with those files. Keep me posted on that hope chest.